What's up, everyone? I just wanted to make a guide on how I solo Kriara with Tumeken Shadow. The method I use is pretty chill. You don't need to be on a Slayer task, and in fact, for this video, I'm not gonna be on a Slayer task. But obviously, if you have a Slayer task, it makes this a lot better. According to my DPS calc, the Slayer task is 7 point something DPS on Kree, and off task in my gear is 6 point something DPS. Still much better than Bofa or melee methods. I'm going to be using the step under method, and I'll just show you how it works. But yeah, some requirements for this method. I'm going to say, since we're using the shadow, you should have as many mage damage percent boost as possible. So things like Aram give 1% per piece, Virtus gives 2% per piece, and then Ancestral is going to be best in slot with 3% magic damage per piece. I would highly recommend Tormented Bracelet and Occult Necklace, also Majorina 2 capes. God items, you should, well, it's not required to have a Zamorak item, but in the room outside of Kree, there are a couple Zammy minions, and I keep this Zammy cape just so they don't aggro me, and nothing attacks me once I'm in Kree's area. I have an Armadillo item, that's the Honorable Blessing. And then the method I use here, Virtus counts as ancient items, and I use this bank at Nex between my trips. You can see I already have some KC left over from Armadillo. So for this method, you're going to want to start out with an ecumenical key, just one. I mean, unless you die, you know, you'll have to go get another, but yeah, I start off with one ecumenical key, I get in the room, I do, I don't know, 10 to 20 KC, and then I come over here, I kill a couple of these warriors with the shadow, come in here and bank, and then I reset. So yeah, for gear, I'm going to say bare minimum, either have Arams or Blue Moon, or what else is 1%? I believe Dagonhai is also 1%, but ideally you should be wearing Ancestral. I'm on an Iron Man, so I'm just working with what I got. And again, the Virtus is an ancient item, but you can also wield an ancient scepter when you're in this room. You just don't want to take it off. You don't want to equip the shadow without an ancient item, or else everything in here will kill you. I do have a saturated heart. I think it helps. These Bones to Peaches tabs, they can be nice in a pinch, but I find that I don't even end up using them at all. I just don't need them, because I bring food into the boss, and the boss and minions drop plenty of food. You're going to need any type of crossbow and a mithril grapple to enter Kriara's area. I just kind of keep these in my inventory. Make sure you bring an emergency telly. That's what this quest point cape is. I've done a couple trips where I was in a really tight situation and I went to go telly and I didn't have this. So I was clicking Bones to Peaches and I was looking for a telly somewhere on me, and I ended up dying. So don't worry, dying is part of the process here. Finally, a rune pouch with blood barrage runes. For this method, I'm not even going to freeze anything. I like to do chiller methods, even if they're not as efficient, because you only get the drops if you get the KC, and I'm not really worried about the most efficient KC per hour. I want to be able to kill the boss comfortably at my own pace. I don't want to sweat too much, and I'd rather just spend a bit more time doing bossing rather than, you know, getting really intense with it and getting burnt out. So for me, it's more about longevity. Now, I could show you a couple cool things here. So first, I'm going to show my first ever KC at Armadillo. And right here we're looking at Kree kill count 1 for my frozen key piece. And Kree was very generous. Dropped me a chain skirt on that first KC. It was very cool. This was over a year ago. And it's a little hard to see, but look at this noob. I have a rune crossbow, you can't see it. Diamond Bolt's E, Crystal Shield, Carol's skirt, probably a Carol's body, some Zammy boots. This is, yeah, it's just very newbie. It took me 2 full brews plus a sip just to get through that 1 kill with this gear. Look how newbie I am. I brought a Dragon Warhammer. Totally unnecessary. It doesn't even work here. And for some reason, I don't even know why I have those runes in the pouch. But you could get lucky like this. So that's pretty cool. Now I will show yesterday. I was back at Kree doing this method, and I got my Armadillo chest plate at 148 KC. And here I have my shadow. I'm not on a Slayer task. And I'm about to show you how this works, so that this could be you. Now for mains, you should probably invest in better gear as you get these drops. But I thought that was pretty cool. Without further ado, let's gear up. So I do have a quick tag tab for what I need. And the more comfortable you get with this, the less food you can bring. So on your first trip, just replace one of these food items with an ecumenical key. And your first trip, you might be carrying your hilt to teleport here, or however you get here. I do recommend that on your first trip, you come straight into the next bank so that you don't need to be carrying like your hilt or whatever your tele is to get here. And again, if you're an Iron Man or you're worried about getting these tablets, you can totally do this without it. So don't even worry about the bones to peaches. So first, I'm just gonna heal up to full. Let me just get some like really shitty food, just because don't want to waste my anglers right here. Let's get our prayer up to full. Gonna replace that. I'm gonna pre-angler, and I'm not gonna pre-pot anything. Oh, and another quick note. You can either opt for a Seer's Ring for slightly more magic damage. It's 0.5%. I personally go with a Ring of Suffering RI because the recoil damage is really nice in the room. Everything is going to hit you pretty often, and just recoiling some of that back to everything just makes the room go by a little bit faster. Not to mention that the Ring of Suffering has +4 prayer bonus and some decent defense bonuses, like about 20 defense bonuses. We're going to be praying range this entire time. I don't even flick. I don't freeze, I don't flick, I don't stress. So, Without further ado, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just make sure I hit this rapid heal. Grab this angler. And we are ready. So again, first trip, just have an ecumenical key in your inventory. But I already have KC, so I don't need it. Shadow I have on accurate. You don't really need long range for this. It's very comparable how good accurate versus long range is, but accurate is slightly more DPS by ever so much. I'm gonna pray range when I'm in this main area. I'm gonna grapple this pillar, and as soon as I land, I'm gonna wait for my true tile to hit that. Oops, it was a little late. I'm gonna re-equip that Armadillo Blessing and my Shadow. And once you're farther away from those kind of mobs, they will stop hitting you so much. We're gonna set quick prayers to pray range and augury. And before we step in, I'm gonna hit my heart, I'm gonna hit my quick prayers, and then I'm gonna open a private instance. Now for the step under method, I'm gonna say a helpful plugin. It's called, what is it called? Attack Timer Metronome. I think this is from the plugin hub. This is really nice because every time I cast with the Shadow, it's going to show a tick timer above my head. And if I'm standing under Kree, as soon as that timer goes down to 1, I know I can click to attack him again and then step back under. I could try and zoom in so you can see it better. But yeah. By the way, this werewolf and this bloodveld are the Zammy monsters. If I didn't have my Zammy cloak, they would be attacking me. So that's where that comes in. Okay, let's do this. Private instance, attack. I'm gonna shift click to run under. Attack, shift click, run under. Attack, shift click, run under. And you just kind of repeat this until he dies. You'll notice the Shadow just hits really hard. It's really nice. And if you need to eat while you're under Kree. And that attack timer will tell you when your food cooldown is up. So I'm gonna eat twice. That's unlucky. Kree doesn't always hit that hard. Later on, Kree might drop some super defense potions. I'll just sip one of those if it does. Again, alright, Kree's dead. Put the Ancient Scepter. Oh my god! That's disgusting. That's actually fucking disgusting. Holy shit. Cool. So, anyway, after these two are dead, pick up your crazy loot, and then, I just blood barrage this guy, honestly. And I'm not gonna heal my prayer yet because the altar has a cooldown timer. I'm just gonna let the clan know. Holy shit, that is kind of insane. But anyway, the Blood Ancient Scepter gets you up to 108 health. Okay, it's dead. No, oh fuck, that's unlucky. Whatever. Now we get to heal our prayer for full. Equip our Shadow. And the only tile I have marked is this one right here. It's just where Kree is. And actually, I'm going to grab a couple bones just so I can get some more food. Turn those into peaches. Get ready for Kree to spawn. When it's 3 seconds left, I like to put up my prayer. And boom. So as soon as my true tile steps out, I'm already shift clicking under the boss to get back in there. But yeah, you can see a lot of stuff is attacking me. I'm camping range prayer. I don't even flick at any point during this. Alright, I'm hitting pretty good this time. But yeah, I prefer methods where it's like a little more chill. So I always run to this side of the mage minion as soon as Kree's dead. It makes the melee minions stack up perfectly. If the melee minion's further this way, like south, then you want to stand on this tile. Drag him in right on top of the mage minion. Holy shit, I'm kind of in shock right now that this just happened. That's really cool. Now I have a fortified Missouri body and an Armadillo chestplate. So I might end up keeping this for the fashion scape. I might also just... I might break it down to fortify my Missouri mat. I don't know. Lots of options. But you can see after every single kill of this, I'm at 108 health. And that's thanks to the Blood Ancient Scepter. And there's plenty of time to just chill. And this is a pretty chill method. Honestly, I have one tile marked. I'm camping one style of overhead. I'm camping one offensive prayer. No thralls to worry about. You know, this is as chill as it gets. So let's get ready for the next one. And the good thing too is the more of these you kill, the more food is going to be on the ground. They're going to drop mushroom potatoes, which heal 20 hit points. Those are sharks. It's also going to drop mantas, which heal 22 hit points. So re-hit the heart as soon as it runs out. And just keep an eye on your health. Don't be afraid to eat. Just make sure you try and stay under the boss while you're in that cooldown time. And yeah, I like highlighting tiles of the boss and the minions. I don't like highlighting their true tiles because there is, you know, just as with your own character, there's a delay between where their true tile is and their animation is. So I like the cleaner look of the tile right under the thing. And see, there's a couple manta rays. So I'm gonna just ditch these peaches, replace them with the rays. Better food. And the more confident you get with this, like I said, the less food you can take in here, the more prayer potions you can bring. And I wouldn't completely ditch the food, obviously. You want to have some eats in your inventory. The reason I don't bring brews, by the way, is because I don't want it to lower my DPS. I used to bring brews. They're a little expensive. You know, I have a lot more like solid food than I do brews, especially on an Iron Man. And yeah, it just doesn't lower my mage level. And I only find that I need to eat not even every kill, but maybe once a kill. But honestly, probably less than that. Yeah, this is as chill as it gets. You can just stay here until you're out of prayer pots, basically. And I might actually cut the trip a little short so I can show you how I bank. So I'll definitely stay for a few kills. Just kind of get the gist of the cycle here, but I believe I've showed it pretty well. Just what I'm up to. These trips can last I don't know. I mean, a long time. I'd guess an hour, depending on how much prayer restore you bring. I can't believe I got this. That was just beautiful for this video. Okay, they're hitting pretty hard. I'm just gonna eat. It's kind of rare that they hit that hard there, but also, I'm not flicking. If you flick, this will be a lot smoother, but you'll still see that it's not a problem. Because now that this last guy is just using range, I'm probably gonna get to full. But let's watch the hit points and see. Yep, there's 100. Okay, we don't quite get to full, but we're at normie full. So that's totally fine. Just make sure you keep an eye on this altar cooldown timer. You want to make sure you hit the altar when it's ready, and try not to be full prayer when the altar's ready. Try to time it so that you have like almost no prayer points left so that you get the maximum refund out of that. But yeah, look at this noob. Aram's hood. You know, these are cheap items. And this method works. So obviously any better gear will just make this even better. Even if you're a main, you know, just solo some Kree, get some drops, make some money. If you are doing a shadow rebuild, maybe get like shadow, tormented bracelet, occult necklace, full Arams, and just camp Kree and trade in your drops for gear upgrade until you have like full ancestral. You can do full Vertus along the way maybe, but you really do want that ancestral. And trust me, I'm going to chambers sometimes, and I'm working on it, but it's a long grind. I'm gonna eat up. You see the cooldown timer went back to 5 as soon as I ate. Get the heart. Oh, I'm gonna eat again. Holy shit. Okay, this is a lot of damage. I might have to teleport, actually. Try not to eat all my food. I want to rush to get to the point where I'm healing off of the minions. That was close. I'm gonna have to make some peaches. Yeah, obviously, this gear does not give you great defense, so you're really relying on Shadow just kind of doing its thing, just wrecking everything before it hurts you too much. Let's take these bones. Show me the bones. Hey, some mantas. Let's go. I guess I'll start picking up some loot. I'm in a private instance. For those who are unfamiliar, you notice when I went through the door, it asked me to pay a certain amount of money depending on your CAs that you have done. This lets items stay on the ground a long time. Alright, so the altar is about to become available again, so... Oops, I just drank a prayer pot when I was just about to say I'm going to try and camp lower prayer this time. But, yeah, I'm going to try and camp a little lower prayer, just so I can get the most restore from that altar. Don't be afraid to eat. I'm gonna wait till I'm like below half before I eat. But I really like doing some solid DPS on Kree. Okay, Kree's dead. A little bit. Yeah, I don't want this video to be too long, so I think I'm just gonna exit after these minions are dead, and I will show you how I tank. If it's just the melee, you can try and drag him on top of the range minion. Barrage both of them. Auto cast on Blood Barrage, by the way. But yeah, there's really no reason you shouldn't be full health once the minions are dead. Or over full like this. Nice, we got 108 that time. But yeah, let me just take up my loot. Just whatever's worth grabbing. And we'll go bank and reset. So use the altar to teleport out. When you bank, I recommend you have at least a sip of prayer in your inventory, because you're going to need to get kill count on some next minions, and you don't want to do that without any prayer points. So, alright, things are going to become aggressive in here when I put on the grapple, so let's pray range in anticipation of that. We'll come across here, and then it's a short walk over to Nex's room. So, we're in Nex's room, we can turn off our protection prayer. I'm going to put this stuff back on. And because I'm wearing Virtus, nothing's going to be aggro. So, at my combat achievement level right now, I have 30 KC requirement for getting into these rooms. But if you don't have your CAs done, you're going to need 40 KC. The nice thing about Nex is each monster will give you more than 1 kill count credit. So for this, I just like shadowing these melee guys. It's the fastest for me. There's a few that spawn around here, the spiritual warriors. You can safe spot them over like rubble like this. And I like to just flick their attacks, just a lazy flick. I believe they're 4-tick cycle. So yeah, just kill these guys. Make sure you are protecting melee. If you're not comfortable lazy flicking, you can just camp the prayer if you have enough prayer points. Just bank inside and we can restore our prayer up to full. Another nice little trick too, if you have a Falcon shield, you can just use that to top off your prayer rather than sipping potions at the bank. Now only that works a couple of times a day, so obviously it's not an every time thing, but make sure you do that if you have the shield, because it'll save you some weird doses. Now you can see my kill count goes from 9, ooh cool, up to 11, so that guy counted as 2 kills. Yeah, that's the other little plus, is you can get some collection log slots from these guys. I love how I'm getting just like really nice RNG for this video. Armadillo chestplate, got a piece of ceremonial. You know, that's kind of nice. And this is exactly why I say to bring at least 1 dose of prayer pot when you're getting this KC. You can see I'm really low on prayer points. And let's just assume I ran out of prayer and I had no pots on me. It would be really hard to kill these guys I would probably just try and safe spot them over this rubble. Not everything in this room can be safe spotted over. Like taller objects like these things cannot on the walls. But this little rubble does work. So I'll try and show that here. Oh, he walked. Maybe if I run back here. Yeah. So there's a way to safe spot them. In a pinch, that'll work. But yeah, basically, you just get your kill count. For me, it's going to be 30. Go in the bank and just reset your inventory exactly like before. And if you killed Kriara and his minions enough times, then you won't need another ecumenical key, because this will stay. So, yeah, I think I'm probably going to leave it there. Don't want this to go on like too super long. But I hope this guide helps some people out there. I hope you can see that Kree doesn't need to be as intimidating as it might seem sometimes. You know, if you know how to camp one prayer and eat when your health is low, then you can get Kree KC. You can get really nice drops. If y'all want, I can show you a Bofa method as well, but from what I've seen, there's a lot more guides on YouTube for Bofa at Kree than there are for Shadow. But obviously, my style is doing like a long form kind of random video. So maybe if this video style resonates with you, let me know. I'd love to hear that, and I would be happy to do a Bofa guide. Or other methods, I guess. I can show you how I did it with the rune crossbow back in the day. But actually, maybe I'll just get this kill count requirement. I'll show you some things in the bank. Kree guide's over at this point. I think at this point it's just more of a let's check some stuff out. I want to look at my collection log. I want to look at my bank. So let's take a look at this. Damn. That's really nice. I would love to get the pet here. That would be really cool. Here, let's show you my TOA. So, obviously I got a Shadow. That was super lucky. It was my first purple at Toa, actually, from a 360 invo. It was a trio with a couple of clanmates, really cool dudes. And yeah, I got, since then, 2 pieces of Missouri. And I'll show you here. So here's my mask, and there's my fortified body. And I have my Armada's chain skirt. Let's get this armor chest in here. See how that looks. Now that's a nice looking range tab. Not to brag. Well, yeah, it is to brag. I've had this Iron Man account a long time. Let's take a look. 183 days, 9 hours. I guess only Hans tells you when you made the account, but I made this account over 8 years ago, and it really is just more about consistency and getting the KC rather than doing the most efficient methods. Now obviously, I think the better you get, you will just naturally get more efficient, but if there's one takeaway you get from this video, is just get the KC. If you have a rune crossbow and a crystal shield and carols, just get the KC. Eat 3 brews getting that KC if you need to. If you have Bofa, it's even better. It's even better. And if you have a Shadow, you saw how hard the Shadow hit off task. There's not a great excuse if you're not going into Kree. I mean, if you're a main as well, you can bring a buddy. You can both have shadows or a bofa or something. But I just want to show the viability for Iron Man with a shadow to go and farm Kree. Because you can go there and just absolutely farm this guy. You know, the shadow just hits so hard. You make your own food in there. The boss gives you more food. So, it's really nice. Alright, I'm gonna end the guide here. This is my first guide, by the way, for anything on RuneScape. This was something that I experienced myself, and I'm like, oh my god, Kree was easier than I thought. And I'm getting drops here. So, I thought it would be cool if I just share that with everyone here. I do plan on getting my Infernal Cape. I know I've put out a couple of those Dugga Does the Inferno videos. That is on the to-do list. I just, I'll be honest, I'm putting it off because it's hard content. But, you know, we'll get there one day. I also wouldn't mind doing like a bank video, collection log video, you know, CA video. All that stuff is pretty cool to me too. I think that topic needs its own dedicated, like, here's my Iron Man type video. So if you'd like to see that, let me know. But otherwise, I'm gonna leave it there. Thanks y'all if you made it this far, and I will see ya. Bye.